Hello everyone and welcome back to another video where today I will be reviewing my 1999 Lexus ES300. So I'll just literally be giving you like a complete rundown of everything that I've personally done with this car, the story behind the car, like pretty much everything about the car, and obviously towards the end I'll be doing some exhaust, obviously like sound, because this car sounds pretty ridiculous. So let's get right into it. And I'm going to start off by saying, well, like basically explaining this car, because I guarantee most of you probably have not heard of this car unless you are literally an enthusiast who has searched this video up or something. But yes, this is a 1999 Lexus ES300, more specifically the XV20. So this was obviously early days for Lexus. So it's based upon the Camry. So I think you'll find that like 80% of the car is basically Camry. It's a Camry chassis, like obviously Camry, like the doors, you can obviously akin to the Camry. The engine is from the V6 Camry. It's front wheel drive, unfortunately. Many people think that it is rear wheel drive, unfortunately not, I wish. But basically this car is just a Camry with a body kit and a fancy interior and just many other awesome things. It's a lot more than that. So obviously this is the LS400 is Lexus's flagship model. That is the S-Class of Lexus, basically. And the ES300 is more like the E-Class, I'd say. And then the IS is obviously more like the C-Class. So, yeah, this is kind of like the E-Class equivalent of Lexus, which is very, very nice. So let's get started with the interior of the ES300. And as you can see, first off, we've got my aftermarket head unit. So the stock head unit that comes in this car, well, obviously it's a radio. It's not a head unit. So that was the first thing that needed to be replaced. I did that within a few months of ownership. And yeah, it works a lot better. It's a pretty old head unit, but it's a lot better than the standard head unit that came in the car, which was obviously just a radio. So you couldn't really do anything with it. But inside the car, you've got electric seat controls. In America, you get the heated seat option, and in some other places, you get like suspension settings and all that. In Australia, we get this, which is still very nice. This is actually the highest spec ES300 of the time. So you've got novelties like the sunroof, which you can tilt up, obviously put all the way back. It's got this little slider here as well, which is pretty nice. This is actually the rarer configuration with the black interior. Most ES300s you'll see either have the cream or the slightly tanned interior. And this is, in my opinion, the interior to go for, because it kind of gives them a more, like, obviously a black interior feels a bit more sporty, a bit more, it doesn't feel as luxurious, but it's very nice. So you've got all of, like, a lot of leather. Literally the car is surrounded in leather. Quite a bit of rubber as well. So like parts like here. And also, my apologies, the car is filthy. You've got fake wood here, unfortunately. Again, in America, this is real. In Australia, we get the plastic one. They didn't change that until the next generation of ES300. So that is unfortunate, but it is what it is. The stock speaker system, the Lexus Premium sound system in this car is amazing. Even 23 years later, the sound quality is just amazing. Obviously, it's a 4-speed automatic gearbox, the same that was in the Camry, obviously. So it's a pretty rubbish gearbox, to be honest. It's a very weak transmission. Mine's actually literally about to go completely. So that needs to be swapped or fixed or something. And that's why you can't turbocharge these cars unless you upgrade the gearbox, because it'll literally destroy the gearbox. Hence why I've actually done no power mods to this car yet, because I'm just super concerned about the gearbox breaking on me. Obviously, this is a passenger. It's a very, very comfortable experience. This is the seat all the way back. I've got plenty of room actually, and it's a very nice place to be. I've driven this car to Brisbane before, from Sydney to Brisbane, and it was so nice during it. Just a very, very comfortable driving experience, and it was just very pleasant. Right, I'll switch the ignition on. just switch the wipers off for now. Unfortunately, it's a very miserable day, but you've got this awesome display here. Obviously backlit, which they're notorious for breaking very easily, but it's fine. The steering wheel, it's very basic, it's very Camry-like. It's slightly nicer than the Camry steering wheel. Obviously it's aged quite a bit, so you can see it's looking a little bit rough. It's done 286,000 kilometers and it's still going strong. These engines are known for getting 300, 400,000 Ks without any major issues, so still got plenty of life left in it. So you've got this was installed by the previous owner, all the LED lights found throughout the car, so that wasn't me. But yeah, no, the seats, they look like this. Well, this one is a bad example, it's a bit torn, but it's all right. So they look like this, and just looking around the interior, it's very, very clean. Oh, it's nice. I wouldn't say it's clean. It needs a clean, that's what it needs. But you've got this little compartment up here for sunnies as well. Obviously sunroof opens and closes, which I'm not going to demonstrate because obviously rainy day. And yeah, and then I'll show you the back seat. Another thing that I absolutely love about this car is the pillarless doors. So this is the first and the last Lexus to ever have pillarless doors. Not even the LS's had pillarless doors, so I absolutely love them. A lot of people, this is the only downside of it. A lot of non-car people who get in my car obviously close the door like that, and it does my head in, because what it does is bend the window and it sounds like this after a while. It doesn't, well, actually it's worse on the driver's side, but you get what I mean. So this is the rear. Please, I apologize for all of the stuff that's in it. I'm not going to really show you, but yeah, it's got plenty of room. It's still nice back there, and that's that. So now's a good time to show you the luggage space in the boot. Now, to open the boot, you've either got the key. Mine's an aftermarket key, so it actually doesn't have, you're not able to open it from the aftermarket key for some reason. But on a genuine key, you'd be able to open it from the remote. Alternatively, there's a key slot in the boot, so you can twist it and open the boot that way. Or there's a little button down here right next to the fuel button, so you can press that. And also I'm going to open the bonnet for later. Also right here you've got a little space to keep your coins, which is very nice, very, very convenient. If you open it up, you can see you've actually got quite a lot of space. It is a luxury sedan, so as to be expected, it's also filthy, so please ignore that. So yeah, that's basically the ins and outs of the ES300. Now I'm just going to show you what's under the bonnet. Like I mentioned, it is the 3-litre V6, the 1MZ FE from the Toyota Camry, and this is how it is looking. It's obviously a fairly basic layout. There's a little hole there, so I've done my best to cover it up for the time being, just so no unwanted dust particles make their way into the engine. So yeah, I mean, it's just basic. Looks like a Camry. You pop the bonnet on a Camry, it'll look something like this. So there you are. That's what's under the bonnet. Now I'm going to get onto the mods that I've done with this car. So as you can see right here, you've got my coilovers. So these are MXR coilovers. They're okay. They're not the best, they're not the worst. They get the job done. It makes the car sit lower. It makes it handle a lot better as well. That was mainly what I was going for, just handling. It performs so much better with the coilovers on. And obviously it looks much better as well. Just very low, not as low as I want it to go, but it's low enough for the time being. Other mods that I've done include the slotted brake discs up front, which, I mean, it's fairly basic, because my original intentions for this car, well, it was to turn it into a track car, which I'm not going to do it anymore, simply because, well, it's a luxury sedan. It's not a race car, it's a luxury sedan, so I'm just basically, I'm doing what I want to it when I want to it, pretty much. And secondly, obviously, because I've got a Polo GTI. That's my little, it's a lot better for track environments. It's a lot better for performance-based tasks. I put a V6 badge on there from the Camry because obviously, why not? It is basically just a Camry with a body kit. So in terms of wheels and tires, I actually got a set of Speedy wheels for $200. They used to be on the manager of Sydney City Lexus. They used to be on his personal ES300, so that's pretty nice. And then obviously in terms of tires, you've got Bridgestone Potenza RE003s, which are very, very good tires, very soft compound, and they're amazing. And then also you've got the amazing exhaust system. So it's got a MagnaFlow sports muffler and a resonator delete, and that's all you need. It's all you need to make this car sound amazing, which obviously I will demonstrate. What I'll do now is give you a bit of a kind of driving impression. So I'll give you my honest thoughts of it on the road. Not bad. Apologies, the quality isn't going to be the best, but I mean, this is my camera situation for the moment. Okay. So as you can hear, it sounds pretty ridiculous. Now that is thanks to obviously the resonator delete and the MagnaFlow sports muffler. So that's why it sounds so crazy. It's also extremely harsh. The suspension is very rough because of the coilovers. But the ride is still very comfortable because obviously the seats are very padded. They're just very nice quality. Very, very just nice place to be honest. It picks up. It is a 147 kilowatt naturally aspirated V6, so it has a bit of punch. It's very, very, very good. Very, very good. The driving experience is very direct, like you can it's very, very direct. It feels very solid. And yeah, I mean, I've got literally no complaints about the driving experience. It'll crackle. It crackles a lot. There's a sweet spot for the crackles. Very, very epic. So now we're approaching a very bumpy part of the road. So I'll demonstrate to you what this is like. So here we are, we're on the road, finally cruising, and yeah, it literally, like, you can feel every bump, as I'm sure you are experiencing right now with the camera. Now, I actually don't remember the name of this road, but it is very bumpy. It's very poor road quality. And yeah, I mean, it is, it's very shaky. It's very shaky because, yeah, coilovers makes the ride quality pretty meh. But like, it's a very nice, it's a nice place to sit. Like, it's comfortable enough to the point where it actually doesn't get annoying. Like, I can live with this. Although it is very bumpy, it's not for everyone, but I actually kind of like the feeling of it being so firm, because it is direct. Like, it'll corner wherever I want it to corner, really. So like, I can switch lanes like that. There's no hesitation. Like, this car, it doesn't hesitate. It'll just go. So that's the best part about it. It's extremely, it's also a really easy car to drive, because ultimately it is a Camry. This is a luxury sports sedan, as Lexus called it. So it was obviously made to be easily driven. And yeah, it's a very pleasant drive. Very, very pleasant. It's also got some nice features, like it's got cruise control. This is a car from 1999 and it has cruise control. is very nice, and honestly, like, for the money, you have to remember, well, actually, I haven't even told you how much I paid for this. So when I bought this car, it was $1,750. I bought this car with 264,000 Ks, and it was 1,750 Australian dollars, which is not very much, especially for a Lexus. That's next to nothing, and these cars are obviously worth a little bit more than that, but still, you can pick one up for a pretty decent price. They're very, very good value, and most of the listings are actually cheaper than V6 Camrys, which is pretty unbelievable. So it's literally just because no one knows about what these cars are. They're very, very underrated. Although I have mentioned it a few times, it is not just a Camry. It is far more than just a Camry in my eyes. And I'm not being biased, I genuinely do believe that it is far more exciting. It's just, there's a lot more about it which a Camry just doesn't have. It's just a lot more special than a Camry, which is very nice. And yeah, I love driving this car. It feels really, really nice to drive. And yeah, that's all I've really got to say for it.